Reborn as the villain CEO's daughter. When he imprisoned the female lead, I silently complained. Just locking her up is pointless. What about her family? Aren't you going to use them? When he couldn't find the female lead, I frowned in disdain. I heard she has a grandmother in the countryside who dotes on her. No one else taking care of her either. It's so inconvenient for the elderly in the countryside. Why not bring her here? Later the villain couldn't spare a thought for the female lead anymore. All he wanted was to get home and give me a good spanking. One as the most malicious supporting female character in history, I nearly got the female lead killed, almost bankrupted the male lead's company, and left the couple's relationship hanging by a thread. To maintain the stability of the world, I was forcibly ejected from my original world and sent to the Transmigration Bureau to be reborn. In this life, I am the daughter of Patrick, the greatest villain in the entire story. I thought I could join forces with him to rule this world. Young master, the paternity test results are in. This little girl is indeed your biological daughter. Hearing this, Patrick frowned, his gaze fixed intently on me. While he was sizing me up, I was sizing him up too. With his decent looks and reportedly substantial wealth, he'd barely qualify as my father. So I took the initiative to be friendly, sweetly calling him daddy. Patrick's gaze wavered, nearly tumbling off the couch before clearing his throat with a light cough. Don't shout nonsense, I haven't acknowledged anything yet. The phone on the table rang. He glanced at it, then looked toward the butler standing nearby. Prepare a room for her. Don't report this to the main residence for now. Then he stood up and took a long stride. A glint of shrewdness flashed in my eyes. The name mentioned in that phone call was clearly a girl's. If I wasn't mistaken, that must be the female lead. I quickly rushed forward and hugged Patrick's leg. Daddy, are you going out? He raised an eyebrow, signaling for me to continue. I put on an obedient smile. I want to be with you. He pried my hands away. No. To a bright and spacious office. Patrick flipped me onto the sofa with a backhanded motion, his face dark. Stay here, don't run around. After saying this, he gave his secretary a few instructions before disappearing into the small inner room. I knew he was going to do something shady. After all, I'd been exactly the same back in the day. To gain Patrick's trust first, I needed to show him my capabilities. So I coaxed the secretary into buying me a cupcake while I sneaked out. I barely made it halfway before Patrick's men caught me and dragged me back. Patrick glared at me, holding a ruler in his hand. I told you to stay put, didn't I? I propped my face with my hands, putting on a cute act. Daddy, I'm so bored here. I want to be with you. His expression softened considerably, though his tone remained stern. No. Patrick's right-hand man looked at me curiously, pinching my little cheek. Boss, is this your daughter? Your daughter's already this big. Patrick darkly brushed their hands away. Leave her be. Let us continue. Where were we just now? One of the bespectacled aides spoke up. We were discussing how Mingson Tech's new product launch overlaps with our own product line, potentially stealing a portion of our consumer base. Patrick nodded, leaned back, and spread his hands. So, what good ideas do you have? Let me hear them. Here it comes, I thought, lowering my eyes and suppressing the excitement in my heart. Let me hear what kind of underhanded schemes you've got. I know their director. On the day of the new product launch, I'll secretly slip him water, laced with laxatives, make him fart loudly in front of such a big crowd. They recently bought a batch of money trees for their company, so I had someone pour boiling water on them. That's so outdated. I heard they hired a girl whose birth chart is extremely auspicious for their company's fortune. I'm going to poach her with a high offer. I looked up in confusion. What kind of childish nonsense is this? It won't shake their rival company in the slightest, completely pointless. Patrick just had to nod in agreement, slamming the table excitedly. Let us do as you suggested. 3. I gritted my teeth silently. What a bunch of useless fools, utterly unworthy of their villainous roles. I stood up on my chair, raising my chubby little hand. I've still got moves. Yours 1. Cut it. A crowd of eyes converged on me in unison, all dutifully widening with exaggerated shock. Everyone except Patrick, who glared at me and tried to haul me down. Dodging his grasp, I raised my voice with rallying fervor. Since their company's product clashes with ours, we'll pay top dollar to steal their core technology. We'll incorporate it into our product and announce it before they can launch theirs, then turn around and sue them for plagiarism. At the very least, we can poach their partner companies, cutting off their funding sources and crippling their ability to continue operations. What do you all think? Silence, a deathly silence. The rather dark-hearted subordinate was dumbfounded. Brutal, truly brutal. I praised him with a glance. This boy could be taught. Then Patrick lifted me up by the scruff, his voice dripping with menace. You're quite the expert, he said, to which I proudly puffed out my little chest. That not behind them, the bespectacled young man's lenses glinted as he casually reminded them. President Patrick, usually this kind of situation means they've watched too many cartoons and read too few books. Patrick stroked his chin thoughtfully. Find her a school to attend. I gritted my teeth, flailing my stubby little legs. It's because you're all too stupid to think of such a simple solution. To quickly gain Patrick's approval, I added pitifully. Daddy, I don't want to go to school. I just want to stay by your side. Resistance is futile. On Monday, as I carried my backpack and still tried to resist, Patrick dragged me into school. These idiots, without me they have no idea how badly they'll lose. For with a sullen face, I was led into the classroom by the homeroom teacher, who pointed to a seat by the window. Christine, you'll sit there. I propped my chin on my handboard to the point of dozing off. What's the point of kindergarten? Anyway, just a bunch of brats who can't even control their bladder. Suddenly, a chubby hand reached out from behind and snatched the pencil case from the boy next to me. Let me borrow it for 2 class periods. He said 2 periods, but in reality, he kept it the whole day without returning it. My desk mate, who was also the owner of the pencil case, looked at him pitifully.
Can you give it back to me?
The chubby boy stuck out his tongue. No, I 1T, just 1T. Idiot, you don't even know how to bully people properly. I rubbed my hands together eagerly and wagged a finger. Classmate, this 1T, your methods are too amateurish. Here, let me teach you. You should throw animal carcasses into his desk, rats, snakes, frogs, slap him in the bathroom, dump dirty water on him, make the whole class ostracize him, steal his meal card. That's what you call bullying. The little chubby boy stared at me for a moment, then his lips quivered before he burst into loud wails and ran away. Wait, why did he run? Useless, another useless one. I stomped my foot in frustration. Couldn't I find a single intelligent person? Thank you, the bullied little boy thanked me in a milky, childish voice. Poor and quiet, he had been bullied since childhood, seemingly weak and easy to push around. In reality, his psyche would gradually twist as he grew older. My mind grew active again. A villainous doesn't fight alone but wins people over and builds her own circle of trusted followers. This person before me is quite suitable. No need to thank me. If he bullies you again, you must tell me. The little boy nodded obediently. Okay, little follower acquired. 5 After starting kindergarten, my time with Patrick was greatly reduced, and I had no idea what he was up to. The butler wouldn't tell me either, just kept reading me storybooks over and over. Why did Snow White live happily ever after with the prince? Because she was kind. Why did Little Red Riding Hood escape from the wolf's mouth? Because she was kind too. So you see, you should be a kind little girl with goodness in your heart and always facing the sunlight. But I didn't listen to a single word because I saw Patrick's car and there was a woman inside. I obediently lay down and told the butler I was going to sleep, so he would leave. The moment he was gone, I quietly hid in a secret spot to spy. Here comes the grand scene where the villain imprisons the female lead. Too far away to hear their words clearly, I strained my body, sticking out my butt in an attempt to catch what they were saying. From their expressions, it was clear they were arguing. The female lead looked furious, slamming the door with a thunderous bang. Patrick was left standing outside, and all he could do was sheepishly rub his nose. Useless old man, I'm frustrated by his incompetence as I emerge from the corner. Just imprisoning her is pointless. You can only have her body, not her heart. What about her family? Aren't you going to make use of them? Patrick narrowed his eyes. Imprisonment using her family? Do you realize what you're saying? Of course you like her, but she doesn't like you, so to have her you locked her up. Patrick laughed in exasperation and waved his hand. Butler, confiscate the novels from the young lady's mattress and no television for a month. Damn it, I was only trying to help him. He simply doesn't understand my good intentions. 6 I was depressed, and this depression lasted until the next day at school. My younger brother silently handed me the homework. I copied your handwriting. I unceremoniously accepted it and handed him $500. Consider this your reward. Go treat yourself to something nice for lunch. I wasn't about to make him work for free either. I've always been generous with my underlings. He took out his snacks to share with me. Christine, here, have some. I never eat this kind of junk food, but to win over my little follower's heart, I took a bite. It's actually pretty good. One more bite, and it's even better than the snacks the villain brought back for me from abroad. I unceremoniously confiscated all his snacks and stashed them in my desk drawer. The little brother looked at his empty bag and curled the corner of his mouth. I'll bring you more tomorrow. Munching on potato chips, I added, make it cucumber flavor. Another boring day finally made it to the end of school. The car that usually waits at the school gate early was nowhere to be seen, and the teacher pulled me aside. Your father will be late today, so I'll wait here with you. I stood at the school gate pouting angrily. The teacher was chatting with another teacher. The little prince from the Nick family is also in this kindergarten. How come I didn't hear about it? They don't want the public to know. Let us just focus on our own work. I frowned upon hearing this. What little prince? Since when did our kindergarten have such a figure? Could it also be used for my benefit? I was calculating my plans when Patrick arrived, appearing at the door covered in dust from his journey. Sorry, something came up. I'm late. I generously decided not to make a big deal out of it. His phone kept ringing nonstop in the car. Check Diana's flight information, ask her friends if they know where she went. If all else fails, go ask her family, find her as soon as possible. From his brief sentences, I understood the female lead had run away, and he was now playing the part of she flees, he pursues. I sat up excitedly. Was it finally my turn to make an appearance? I heard she has a grandmother in the countryside who dotes on her. And no one else taking care of her either. It's so inconvenient for the elderly in the countryside. Why not bring her here? I phrased it carefully, but I think he understood what I meant. After listening, the villain silently searched around. Where's my stick? The bespectacled guy leaned out from the passenger seat, handing over the stick with both hands. President Patrick, here, asked the stick. The two silently stared at each other. The young man pushed forward slightly. Children only learn through discipline. Patrick touched the tip of his nose. Seems we're not at that stage yet. The young man retreated with a look of exasperation at his inability to forge steel. What secret conversation were those two having? They actually ignored me. Could it be they didn't catch the implied meaning in my words? Well, they really aren't that bright. Unwilling to accept this, I squeezed my way in. Diana's grandmother is her weakness. As long as we bring her grandmother, here Diana will come to us on her own. Before Patrick could speak, the young man had already eagerly turned around and earnestly offered the stick. General Patrick, mercy toward children is cruelty to oneself. Think carefully about this. Realizing something, I pointed at myself in disbelief. That stick isn't meant for me, is it? Patrick pulled his lips into an expressionless smirk. Congratulations, you guessed wrong. We villainesses have always known when to bend, and when to stand firm. Pouting my lips, I put on a cute coquettish act. Daddy, I was wrong, please don't hit me, okay? Okay, the young man. Patrick, sorry, she's just too adorable. After this incident, I realized that although Patrick is a villain, he is soft-hearted, which means the heavy responsibility of world domination falls on my shoulders alone. I sat in my seat with a troubled expression, not even touching my favorite potato chips. My little brother looked at me with concern. Christine, is something wrong? I replied in a solemn tone, it's nothing. He insisted on getting to the bottom of it, stubbornly pursing his lips. Christine, can you tell me, maybe I can help you? At his words, I took my first proper look at this unexpected little brother. His slightly nervous expression, youthful brows, and dark eyes stared intently at me. Perhaps I could trust him, so I asked sincerely. Would you like to rule the world with me? The little brother pointed at himself in confusion. Me, you mean me? I lowered my eyes in disappointment, I knew it. Waving her hand weakly, she collapsed onto the table. Beside her, a flicker of struggle crossed her subordinate's face before he clenched his fists with determination. I'm willing. My eyes lit up as I tightly grasped his hand. From today onwards, we're the best partners. The little brother was so excited, he could barely speak, his face flushed red. It occurred to me that after all this time, I still didn't know his name. Oh, right, what was your name again? The little brother pouted in disappointment, looking utterly aggrieved. Christine, my name is Paul. Those who achieve great things never let any opportunity slip by, while that useless father of mine was still trying to locate the female lead. I had already boarded a car with Paul heading to Diana's grandmother's house. For the first time, I felt grateful for having recognized Paul as my little brother, because he was the one who called the car, and he was the one who found out where Grandma Diana lived. This time, even fate was on my side. The driver was very kind and dropped us off right at the door. He was whispering something to Paul, so I quickly walked over. Uncle driver, how much is it I'll pay? His family was already poor, and what he had done was enough. He shouldn't have to pay any more. The driver glanced at Paul and probed cautiously. 100. I sighed in relief. Thank goodness it wasn't too expensive. After all, my watch's daily allowance was only 500. After paying, Paul was still dawdling behind, so I reached Diana's grandmother's house first. The front door was wide open. In the yard, a sprightly old woman was lounging on a chair, enjoying the cool breeze. Hearing the commotion, the old woman turned her gaze toward us, fanning herself with a kind expression. What a pretty little girl, looking just like a doll. Who are you here to see, sweetheart? My face flushed red. She called me pretty. My carefully prepared speech suddenly became useless. I pinched my skirt hem, fidgeting awkwardly. Sister Diana asked us to come see you. Just then Paul also arrived, and the old lady rose from her chair. That Diana girl is really something. Sending two such young children to visit me, this is just reckless. What if something had happened? Little ones, where is your home? Grandma will take you back. A glint of shrewdness flashed swiftly through my eyes as I looked brightly at the old woman. Grandma, our home is in Mountain City District 1. Could you take us back? This is what they call getting something for nothing. 8. We hailed a cab and coincidentally got the same driver who brought us here. He first took me and Diana's grandmother, then Paul. When we arrived, I invited Paul, who was still in the car. Would you like to come to my place for a while before heading back? His eyes lit up with an idea, then dimmed again. Forget it, next time. All right. Waving goodbye to him, I led the old lady back home. At the front gate stood a tall figure. It was none other than Patrick. He tapped the ruler against his palm, grinning ominously. Where have you been? Only coming back now. The old lady's voice chimed in simultaneously. How old are you? Patrick was taken aback. Grandmother, he stepped forward to greet the elderly lady. Grandmother, what brings you here? He seemed to realize something and narrowed his eyes at me. I puffed out my little chest, keeping my achievements hidden. This household would fall apart without me. Diana's grandmother seemed quite familiar with Patrick as she rambled on with her complaints. That Diana really sending such a young child to visit me? What if something had happened? I took a liking to this little girl the moment I saw her. Is she yours? Oh, Christine is my child. She is a bit mischievous. I hope she hasn't caused you any trouble. Not at all. What a well-behaved child. Their voices gradually faded into the distance as I dawdled behind, continuing to scheme in my mind. The next step is to threaten the heroine using her grandmother. 9. After finishing the meal prepared by the butler, I carefully examined my plan in my room. At that moment, Patrick pushed the door open. His face was dark and he held a ruler in his hand. Feeling that something was wrong, I quickly admitted my mistake. Don't hit me, Daddy, I was wrong. Not a chance. Patrick's expression froze for an instant before he gritted his teeth. Am I the kind of person who hits children? That would be utterly tasteless. He flipped up my mattress, with the ruler revealing my treasured novels underneath. His smile was chillingly indifferent. These confiscated. To kill a snake, strike its vital spot. The same goes for disciplining a child. At once my heart ached as I clung to Patrick's leg, wailing like a 200-pound child. Daddy, maybe you should just hit me instead. Patrick responded with a cold smirk. Humph, in your dreams. I stomped my foot indignantly where I stood. After all I'd done to help him, he actually repaid kindness with hostility. Since he's being heartless, don't blame me for being ruthless. No classes on Saturday, but wage slaves still have to work. I arrived at Patrick's company with my backpack, and the receptionist sister bent down gently. Little one, who are you looking for? I spoke in a sweet voice. Sister, I'm looking for the brother who wears glasses. She thought for a moment. You must mean Vice President Philip. I nodded. I'll call him for you. Philip arrived quickly, carrying my backpack, and led me into his office. Go ahead, tell me what you need. I pulled over a chair to barely meet his eye level, maintaining my imposing demeanor. I slapped his desk with an indignant expression. This company was founded by you and my father with equal effort, yet you're stuck as the vice president. Are you really content with that? Useless old man, you forced my hand. I never wanted it to come to this. I'm perfectly content being the vice president. Patrick handles all the work as the CEO. I don't have to worry about so much, and I still get paid. Couldn't he be better? My smiling lips froze. Don't you want to take that position for yourself? Philip seemed intrigued, the corner of his mouth curling slightly. Do you have any way to get me into that position? I breathed a sigh of relief. This was a normal person's reaction after all, though I felt a faint discomfort in my heart. Find his mistakes. As long as he negatively impacts the company's image, there will naturally be opposition to him staying in that position. What if we can't find any mistakes of his? How can he be so stupid? I looked at him with the frustration of seeing unrefined iron that refuses to become steel. Then create mistakes for him. R&T, there are plenty of ways to do that. Philip's smile deepened, grinning like an old fox, and I had a bad feeling about this. He pulled out his phone from under the table, a 20-minute call, exactly matching the duration of our conversation. Did you hear that, President Patrick? Damn it, he played me. On the phone, Patrick's voice sounded like he was laughing in exasperation. Christine, this time I'm going to spank your bottom hard. I glared fiercely at Philip, snatched the phone from his hand, and fawned. Daddy, I was just joking with Uncle Philip. The first was testing his loyalty for you. Patrick replied indifferently. Oh? And what did the test reveal? I gritted my teeth. Yes, very loyal. Philip, thank you for the compliment. This trip seemed like a wasted effort, but that was only on the surface. On a deeper level, I took the opportunity to find the female lead's phone number on Philip's phone and memorized it. This way I can contact the female lead. She won't answer calls. Patrick is still searching for her everywhere. But I'm so clever, I sent her a message instead. Your grandmother is in my hands. If you don't want me to do anything to her, meet me at this location. Then I acted cute and spoiled to get Grandma Diana's phone to play with, secretly turning it off. I just needed to wait for her at the agreed place. No need to worry, she wouldn't show up. The meeting spot was a milk tea shop. I ordered myself an Oreo milk tea and sipped while waiting. Finally, my smartwatch rang and Diana's voice sounded icy cold. I'm here, where are you? I watched Diana walk through the door, tall, radiant, and poised. Her face was stern as she coldly scanned the room, trying to spot me. Sipping my milk tea, I ambled over slowly. I'm already here, right in front of you. Diana narrowed her eyes, scanning the area, but still couldn't spot me. Are you messing with me? I couldn't take it anymore, and reminded her. Look down. So Diana lowered her head and saw a puffy round face glaring at her with cheeks puffed up in anger. Her voice unconsciously turned sugary and high-pitched. Sorry, baby, I didn't see you just now. What do you need from big sister? My eyes rolled around. She was trying to butter me up. As expected of the female lead, only she could see through my wicked soul at a glance. I put on airs. Leave. Wait, what was the male lead's name again? I don't think I know it. Under Diana's expectant gaze, I cleared my throat. Leave that man and return to Patrick. Hearing this, Diana came to her senses and pinched my chubby cheek. What is Patrick to you? I replied reluctantly, my dad. Her eyes widened in shock. Holy shit, you're Patrick's daughter. That scumbag has a kid this old already. She went on a tirade, gnashing her teeth with such intensity it looked like she wanted to devour Patrick whole. I smirked triumphantly. If Patrick dared to spank me, I'd dare to ruin his little schemes. After scolding, Diana gave me an awkward glance and brushed her hair back. Sweetie, I'm not usually like this. Remembering what I had said, she looked at me with hesitation. But I really like it. I can't help myself. I leaned in close to her, speaking with venom. Think about your grandmother. She's in my father's hands. You wouldn't want to lose your grandmother, would you? I looked into her eyes, expecting to see anger and resentment. I never expected her to yank me into her arms and start kneading me like dough. Patrick actually has such an adorable daughter. Let big sister give you kisses. How can there be such an adorable baby? You were born just for big sister to kiss. I clenched my fists. Damn it, I really wanted to threaten her more, but she smelled so good. Since she called me cute, I'll let her off for now. 11 Sweetie, how about this dress? It suits you too. In the mall, Diana kept bringing me clothes to try on, even though I was already exhausted from trying them. But meeting her hopeful gaze, since she asked, begging me, I'll reluctantly try on one more outfit. After changing, I walked out with practiced grace, waiting for her to compliment me. When the expected praise didn't come, I frowned slightly and noticed a man and woman had entered the shop, apparently people Diana knew. The man looks so pretentious. Diana, are you following me? You're suffocating me. I've told you Sarah is just my assistant. The woman is even more pretentious. Her smugness is practically oozing from her eyes. Diana, please don't misunderstand. Joseph and I aren't in that kind of relationship. I'm just here to help him pick out clothes. Diana looked utterly at a loss. I didn't. The man cut Diana off mid-sentence. Since you don't trust me at all, perhaps we should take some time apart to cool off. I couldn't take it anymore that such tactics could actually hurt Diana. I watched helplessly as she remained silent, my heart aching with frustration. Another useless. When I think your methods are too crude, let me show you how it's done. The man looked at me impatiently. Where did this brat come from? The woman covered her mouth in shock. She looks a bit like Miss Diana. Could she be her daughter? Two rude brats. I covered my nose and took a step back. Annie, did you eat garlic for lunch? Why does your breath stink so bad? I saw you going to a hotel with another man last time. Forgot to tell you. That guy seems to have AIDS. You should stay away from him, ASAP. "Oh, dear uncle, why do you have those bumps on your neck? They look just like the ones that man had." Instantly both their faces turned pale. The man didn't even bother to explain, and rushed out in a panic. The woman scrambled after him, stumbling in her haste. Behind me, Diana's expression was complicated. "Sweetie, how did you know she was?" "I tricked them. People with ulterior motives can't withstand being tested." She took the opportunity to kiss my cheek again. "You're so smart, baby." Coming out of the mall, she looked quite downcast, fiddling with her phone the whole time. I pursed my lips. Since she de-complimented me, I could reluctantly offer some comfort. "Don't be sad," I said while she pressed the voice message button. "Baby, I just got dumped. My heart hurts so much. I want to lean on your big pecs." Me after sending the voice message, she looked down at me with a smile. "Baby, what did you say?" I narrowed my eyes. "Just how many babies does she have? What a player." I turned my head. "Didn't he say anything?" Ding dong. Diana's phone received a message with a picture. I didn't see it at first, but she pulled up the image to show me. ISNT, this guy's super handsome. I glanced at it, some motorcycle punk. Feeling irritated, I gave a bland assessment. "Shit," Diana said with a sigh. "Then let us do as the baby says and change it. Something doesn't seem right." 12. As the sun was about to set, Diana finally remembered she needed to send me back. I suppressed my inner excitement. The most crucial part of the plan had finally arrived. Diana picked up the bags at her side, still managing to free a hand to hold mine. "Let us go, sweetheart. I'll take you home." I gripped her hand tightly. The female lead got it. Still, it had to be me. Effortless success. As the car was about to enter the courtyard, I stared at Diana's gentle profile and clenched my teeth. "If you don't want to go and you don't have to, you can drop me off here. I'll go in alone." Diana smiled tenderly. "Of course, I have to see my baby safely home." She called me baby again, and my face burned so hot I had to turn away. "Whatever you say." The car came to a smooth stop. Patrick and the old lady were both in the yard, looking eagerly expectant. Remembering my sneaky outing, I hunched my shoulders and hid behind Diana. "Don't see me, don't see me." Diana ran excitedly toward the old lady, throwing herself into her arms. "Grandma, I missed you so much." The old lady happily patted Diana's back, grinning from ear to ear. "Grandma missed you too. Let me look at you. You've gotten so thin." I tiptoed away, only for Patrick to appear behind me like a ghost, murmuring ominously. "Pocket money reduced to 50. I stared back at him in disbelief. 50? Was he trying to kill me? Clenching my fists, I burned with rage. "You brought back the woman you love most, and this is how you treat me." Upon hearing this, Patrick's expression momentarily turned blank. "Love most women? Christine, what are you talking about?" He still wouldn't admit it. No wonder he can't win the female lead's heart. Even the motorcycle boy in the picture looks better than him. "Stop playing dumb, ISNT, sister Diana, your beloved. You couldn't have her love, so you wanted to imprison her. She desperately fled from you. She ran, you chased." Our commotion grew too loud, catching Diana's attention. She laughed until she could barely stand straight. "No wonder Grandma was willing to move her nest. No matter how much I begged, she wouldn't leave. But it turns out it was because of Christine. She's just too adorable. Little Christine want to be my daughter." Patrick's face darkened as he refused without hesitation. "No," the old lady chided Diana with a glance. "Can't you act like a proper, and don't scare Christine like that." My worldview was shattered as I muttered in a daze. Auntie Diana kicked Patrick, clearly displeased. "You mean you never mentioned me to Christine? I'm her own aunt." Faced with this familiar bloodline suppression, Patrick reluctantly replied, "Christine, call me auntie." From their conversation, I learned that Patrick and Diana were biological siblings, though one took their mother's surname, while the other took their father's. After coming of age, Diana moved out and rarely returned home. The last time Patrick was turned away was because their parents were anxious for Diana to marry, but dared not broach the subject with her directly, fearing it would strain their relationship, so they sent Patrick instead. Diana was so annoyed that she bought a ticket to go out and relax. The other members of the Patrick family, fearing something might happen, sent Patrick to bring her back. Patrick had no intention of bringing her back at all, and casually left the task to his subordinates to handle. Because their surnames were different, few people knew that Patrick and Diana were siblings. Someone in the car at the time came up with an idea. They suggested Patrick ask her family about it, unaware that Diana's family was Patrick himself. No wonder he was so silent. Knowing the truth brought tears to my eyes. My dreams shattered, realizing I was just a clown all along. 13, with a heart turned to ashes, I went to school, my face numb and vacant. Paul, long accustomed to my state, presented the prepared snacks as an offering to appease me. The thought of having only 50 left in my watch balance nearly brought me to tears again. I swept the snacks away with one hand. "Stop calling me boss, I don't deserve it." Paul grew anxious. "Why?" I showed him the balance on my watch, tears welling up in my eyes. "I only have $50 left. I can't afford to keep you anymore." He pulled out a black card. "Don't cry, I'll take care of you." My tears dried up instantly as I stared at him expressionlessly. What a clown I am. He was no poor boy, he was the young master of the Nick family. "Let us break up," Paul said earnestly, stuffing the card into my pocket. "Christine, my money is your money. Spend all of it as you please." Looking at Paul's naive and simple-minded expression, I flashed my signature villainous smile. Now that's what I call a good little brother. After training for a long time, the chubby kid decided to seek revenge on me, pointing his chin at me defiantly. "I'm not afraid of you this time, Christine." I giggled uncontrollably. He met my gaze for a moment before bursting into tears with a wail. Me, a noob 14, though life was comfortable, I still felt something was off. My martial arts skills were utterly useless, wasting my talents in vain. What a terrible waste of potential. Then one day, I was kidnapped. I sat excitedly in the car. A bit of spice had finally been added to my dull life. I was led inside. With just one glance, I recognized who he was. The motorcycle boy Diana had shown me. He didn't look at me, lost in his own world, striking a pose. So, you're the bastard Diana left me for. After recognizing the person, he nearly bit his tongue. Why did you guys catch a little brat? The burly man who captured me answered bluntly. Chief Isaac, but according to our investigation, the reason Miss Diana changed her affection was indeed because of her. Isaac declared resolutely. Impossible. He walked up to me, squinting as he sized me up. How could she possibly choose a brat over me? I stared at him, my heart pounding wildly, because I caught the scent of a kindred spirit on him. He more like a true villain, someone who could join me in ruling the world. This time I won. To be so reckless, I need to see his strength first. I gazed at his defiant brows and eyes, speaking calmly. Diana is my biological aunt. Hearing this, a flicker of panic flashed in Isaac's eyes as he tremblingly untied me. Little niece, can we pretend none of this ever happened? I looked at him and smiled. Sorry, but no. His eyes fell in disappointment. I asked again, but do you know why Auntie isn't with you? His emotions were tugged back and forth by my words, sinking low one moment and rising high the next as he urgently replied. Why? Because she was heartbroken by a scumbag. Joseph, you know him, right? It was him. He cheated on her. Can you get revenge for Auntie? Isaac narrowed his eyes dangerously. Of course, the youth said, show me your strength. In just a short span of 15 days, Joseph's company declared bankruptcy, and he was thrown into prison. The empire he had built was gone just like that. I was shocked when I heard the news. Was Isaac really that powerful? After bankrupting Joseph's company, he came to find me. I bankrupted that scumbag's company, but I can't reach your aunt. Little niece, could you help me? I agreed, but I couldn't help asking. How did you manage it so quickly? Could you teach me? Although Isaac didn't know what he could possibly teach me, he still explained. His company already had issues to begin with. Just gather evidence of his bribery and tax evasion, then have him sent away. That's all it takes. I couldn't believe it. It's that simple. It's that simple. I fell silent. I thought it would take a series of events like kidnapping, framing, arson, murder, and a torturous love story before someone could be sent away. Seems I overcomplicated things. After speaking, Isaac stared at me expectantly. Niece, do me a favor. I cleared my throat. No problem. I hope he never finds out that Diana ignored him because of me too. At 16, my aunt happened to be home, so I casually sat down beside her. Auntie, can you show me that photo again? Diana couldn't remember. She asked me in confusion. Sweetheart, which one? I picked at my fingers, keeping my head lowered. The one where I said it was dog shit. Oh, she remembered, pulling up the photo. What's wrong, baby Christine? I leaned against her shoulder, acting coquettishly. Annie, actually, I was just talking nonsense back then. I think this is really nice. It would be great if we could see him at home. Of course, I'll fulfill little Christine's wish. Blushing, I said, love you, Auntie. Patrick walked past silently with a teacup in hand, secretly gritting his teeth. Christine, I'm your real father, and you've never even said you love me. So I took the initiative to show affection, sweetly calling him daddy. Are either of you even listening to me? What a speech that no one paid attention to. Since he was so mean to me before, who cares about him now that I have such a gentle and beautiful aunt? Isaac started frequently coming and going with my aunt. When they saw me, both turned their gazes toward me. One said, little niece, thank you. I want to forget this favor. The other said, I brought the person you wanted. How's that? This feels pretty good. I lounged lazily on the sofa, thinking this wasn't so bad. Let someone else deal with the villainous role. I'm going to enjoy my afternoon tea. If only my annoying old man hadn't shown up waving that damn stick of his. Finished your homework, already stop playing around, and get to work. I called Paul while running away. Let me copy your homework. Damn, even the villainess has to do homework. The end.